Yeah, everyone. uh, welcome back to our teaching. I'm very sorry for taking your time for over 1 month now. We have not been able to come together and teach. And um, one of the options that I'm going to use from now onward is to record the video, record the class, then push it to the YouTube channel so that everybody can have access to it. So we all know that we are done with HTML, we are done with CSS, and we have even moved to JavaScript, which we concluded with our project the last time we met, right? And I said I'm going to give you guys project, but I have not actually have time for that. But before then, before I will give you guys a project, let's quickly look at what Tailwind CSS is all about. Tailwind CSS is another version of or another way of writing CSS, right? We know that CSS is cascading style sheet, which is used a part of a website that is used to beautify or to arrange your website to make it wonderful. Do you understand? We all know that HTML is not the only technology of creating your website. You have to make use of your styling tool, which is CSS. Now, Tailwind CSS is a framework. Do you understand? At the beginning of this course, we talk about the normal CSS and we talk about framework. Do you get? So, what I mean by a framework is that some developers have come together and have created a a should I say a pattern, or let me not use a pattern, sha. Let me use let me use example like someone have already built a house for you, right? Let me use house. Someone have already built a house for you. All you just have to do is that park inside and uh park inside with your clothes only. Like everything is already arranged. Both the bed you'll be using, the wardrobe you'll be using, the water, everything is already there. All you just have to do is just go inside with your clothes or with your clothes. Do you understand? So that's what framework is all about. Some developers, some builders have already come together and build this CSS in a way that you can easily use it. There's no need of you writing many CSS like that. Do you get? They have minimized the stress for you. They have minimized the stress for you. Do you understand? So that's what we'll be looking at. So now, introduction to Tailwind CSS. So before that, okay, let me mention that we have several framework on CSS. We have what we call Bootstrap, we have what we call Boomer, we have what we call Tailwind. But Tailwind is one of the easiest CSS framework to write and one of the easiest to understand. So that's why I'm choosing it over others so that we can learn it together. Do you understand? Sorry, so that I can teach you and you're able to use it. Do you understand? So now our learning objective is that for this module 1 is that by the end of this module, you students should be able to explain what Tailwind CSS is all about, understand the concept of utility first CSS, compare Tailwind with CSS with Bootstrap and plain CSS, and you should be able to know how to install Tailwind by yourself in different environments. Then you should be able to understand the structure of a Tailwind project. Yeah. So now let's start with the first one. What is Tailwind CSS? Tailwind CSS is a utility first CSS framework that lets you to build custom design directly in your HTML by combining small utility classes. So what I mean by this with utility first CSS framework is that it's a web design tool that allow you to style your website using small single purpose classes directly inside your HTML markup. Yeah. So um honestly, right, Bootstrap also do this, writing your CSS inside your HTML, but Tailwind do it better than Bootstrap. Now, using this utility first CSS framework, I said to start your website using small single purpose classes directly inside your HTML markup. And do you remember that we talked about inline CSS? Inline CSS, you know that we said there are three type of ways of writing your CSS. We have inline, we have external, and we have internal CSS. Internal CSS is when you write your CSS inside the HTML document or inside the HTML file. Then inline CSS is when you write your CSS inside your HTML tag before we now see external CSS, which is writing your CSS outside your HTML file. Do you understand? So this utility first CSS framework is more like inline CSS. Do you understand? More like inline CSS, just that you are not. Let me. Okay. This is okay. No, this is inline CSS now. Let me put on my light. Okay. This is inline CSS. Right. Then you now write display block. You write height 50 pixel etc. You understand? This is inline CSS. This is inline CSS. But even with CSS now, with CSS, it's not using all these background color padding, border radius. No. What we are using is this. We are using class attribute to write our inline CSS. We're using class attribute to write our inline CSS. What I mean by class attribute. Remember when we are talking about external CSS or internal CSS, we said uh, we, are, we used to name the name of the we used to name the HTML element that we want to style, right? We'll name it, then we'll go to our CSS, we'll now use it like this now profile. Seeing it. Eh, name the HTML file, the HTML element we want to style. Then in our CSS, now make use of the name to style it. But in in CSS, there's no need of you naming the this thing. There's no need of you naming the HTML element. What you just have to do is that you come here. Oh, sorry, let me do something. Alright, let me use it like this. So I can move that later. You understand? So what you just have to do is you just say any style you want to give to this particular element now. Any style you want to give to it at all, you just write the style inside the class attribute. Write the style inside the class attribute. Example, BG Brew 500. BG Brew 500. Calm down, I will explain. This BG now means that you are giving a background. BG means background. Color blue. The intensity of the background is 500. Just like what we have here. Background. Are you seeing it? Then we also have color white. Then we also have width 90%. Mass width 320 pixel. You understand? That's how it is being written inside our HTML file too. background blue 500, which is make it smaller, instead of writing this lengthen css, make it smaller. You understand? That's why I'm saying that utility first css framework is a web design tool that allow you to style your website using small single purpose classes directly inside your html. Note single purpose classes, single purpose classes. You understand? So instead of styling our button like this, we just style it like this: bg blue 500, the text color white, the padding 3, the border radius rounded LG. Are you seeing it? Like writing on this many stuff. So that's the essence of Tailwind CSS, and that's what framework is all about. Framework help you not to be stressing yourself, not to be writing long file or long document. Just just write it in a short way. So some developers have bring all these things together and minimize it for you. You understand? Now we also have, okay, everything is done with what? Everything is done with classes. Everything is done with classes. Are you seeing it? Mhm. So why use this CSS? What do we normally do when we want to use CSS? What we normally do is that we create our CSS file, then we now connect our CSS file to our HTML. But Tailwind remove that stress from us. Tailwind removes most of the need to write custom CSS. Instead, you start directly inside your HTML file using utility classes, which is this utility classes. These are utility classes. You understand? Now, let's look at real life analogy. Imagine building a house. Traditionally, you build every brick yourself. Like you have to build all the blocks, everything yourself. Bootstrap means that you buy a fully built house. But Tailwind, you buy highly quality building blocks and assemble your own custom house. Bootstrap actually is that there are other developers too that have come together and build the bootstrap for you. All you just have to do is that you just have to call each of these classes from your bootstrap file. So for bootstrap, right, you have the file, you have everything in one place. Then in your HTML, you just have to call the classes, just like our normal CSS. This is our CSS, right? This is our CSS which we have already written. So when we want to, for bootstrap, when we want to use it, all we just have to do is that we'll just start calling our CSS, or like this one now, btn now. Maybe this is our first styling for btn. This is our first styling for btn, right? Then we never want to use that btn, never want to use that this btn that are seeing here. All we just have to do is that, let me search for btn here. Btn, okay. All we just have to do is that we just have to call it here. It's still more of plain css sha, but it's advanced css, and it's a framework of css, which is, you will not, like, you're not the one writing it yourself. There are people that have already written that code for you. All you just have to do is have it in your project, then start calling it that bootstrap. But thing with css, right, you have all the right to write, to define your button, to write all your style yourself. But the advantage is that you are writing your style in your HTML file. You are writing it in your HTML file, not in external CSS. You understand? Alright, we'll still do, we will do practical. We'll do practical. Just that I don't want to build this simple analogy with you first. before we dive to practical aspect. So that's it. You buy high quality. So you buy high quality building blocks and assemble your own custom houses, which I've already explained. So you write all your you write all your CSS inside your HTML, and you are writing it yourself. Like you are telling your HTML that this is what I want you to do. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Then show them in this HTML activities. Show them this HTML. Use. Oh, yeah. So that's it. How do we make it grow? So when you write this in your VS Code, how to make it grow? All you just have to do is that using plain CSS, you style it using elements. Seeing it. I hope you are getting it too. You will call the HTML element button, then you now style it. But for Tailwind, there's no need for that. There's no stress. You are just stressing yourself using this, right? For Tailwind, all you just have to do is that you write your CSS yourself inside the HTML file, HTML element. Are you seeing it? Yeah, so that's it. Utility first class, utility first CSS explain. Yeah. So what is a utility class? A utility class perform one specific styling job, which is text red 500. Only changes text color, which is this one. Listen, you see, remember from our first definition, hmm? Utility first CSS framework is a web tool that allows you to style your website using small single purpose classes directly inside your HTML. Then utility a utility class perform one specific styling job. So you see something like this join together, you know that it is for one purpose. You see this one join together is for one purpose. Then you can also see them in multiple form like that, like this, like text red 500, text center, font bold. Do you understand? Multiple like that. And when you see them like this, you should know that this one have its own purpose. This one has its own purpose. This one has its own purpose too. Do you understand? Yeah. So, mm, all right. So let me stop here for today class. Then we'll start from here. But I want you to watch the video first. Then you tell me what you understand from it, so we can move on. Then I also give you assignment on this one. Yeah. Thank you.